All right, mathematicians, time for another episode of Module 2 Notes. As always, let's get our name and number up in the corner. And let's continue with some division today. Module 2 Notes. This is going to be Module 2, Lesson 22. It's a lot of twos. Dividing with, how appropriate, 2-digit quotients. All right. This lesson brought to you by Harvey Dent. 10, 20, 21, 22. So XX, II for our Roman numerals, 22. Just like before, diving right into the procedure because I'm hoping that that is not particularly new, but I know that some of these are getting a little bigger. Letter A, procedure. Step 1, very important. A lot of people try to skip, but again, we need to be practicing this skill, and it is meant to help you check your answer even before you get your answer. Estimate your quotient. Estimate what you think it's going to turn out to be. So, if I give you a problem that looks like this, 580 divided by 17, I am going to look at this. I am going to start with the divisor, and I'm going to say, okay, 17 is pretty close to 20. 17 is between 10 and 20, but it's closer to 20. We're rounding to the nearest 10. For 580, got a couple different options here, but probably my best option is just to look at that very first digit and say, hey, 5 divided by 2 is not going to work very well. What is close to 5? What is a multiple of 2 that is close to 5? What is part of a 2 fact family that's super close to this? And really, 2. 4 is really close. 6 is really close. In this case, it really would normally round up to 600 anyway. So I'm going to go with the 6. But if the 4 had been closer, I would have gone with 4. It's, again, whichever is closest. Box up those non-zero digits. Divide them first. Whoops. Busy talking division. We already have a division symbol. This is going to be equal to 6 divided by 2 is 3. 0 and 0. I have a 0 in the ones place, 0 in the ones place. So they cancel out. I make a pair, set them aside. But this 0 in the tens has no one to play with, so go fish. We'll carry it over here. Okay. Step 1 complete. Whatever our answer is, it should be fairly close to 30. It won't be 30. It's not going to be exactly 30. That's okay. Number 2. Step 2. Write the problem vertically. Write the problem vertically and, there's an and begin dividing, starting at the left. Make that look like an A. Starting at the left. Okay. Draw our division hut. Again, I wish I knew the proper term for that, but part of me is glad I don't know because it's fun to call it a hut. Dividend goes on the inside. Divisor goes on the outside. And then we start to divide. 5 divided by 17 is not going to work. 17 will not go into 5. 17 will not go into 5. If I have 5 markers, I cannot give them to 17 friends. So 17 goes in 0 times. It will go into 58, however. It will go into 58, however. Now, I could just start multiplying 17 times 2, 17 times 3, 17 times 4 to try to figure out how many times it'll go in. I don't know my 17 fact families, so I'm going to have to do a little testing. But I can narrow down what I start with if I use my estimate. So use your estimate to start the quotient. Now, this says 30. We had 30 up here. 30 is going to be not right. So I'm going to look at the first digit, 3, and that's what I'll plug in here. 3 times 17. It might work, it might not. 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 5. That looks pretty good. We can do that. Okay. 58 minus 51. We end up with 7. 7 is less than the divisor, so that's good. That'll work. If this had been greater than the divisor, then my quotient would have been too small. I would have needed to bump it up. Okay. All right. So remember, use your estimate. Use your estimate to start your quotient. Now, remember, I only used that first digit. If it helps you to see this, though, I can put that invisible 0 there, but it's not going to stay for long. It's not going to stay for long. Okay, step 3. Step 3. Bring down the next digit and repeat. Bring down the next digit and repeat. Okay. Slide this up a bit. I know everybody hates having to copy this over and over again, but I want you to see piece by piece, step by step. So, dividend inside, divisor outside. 17 went into 5 no times. 17 went into 58 3 times. 3 times 7 was 21. We did that part already. Now we subtract. Okay. I still need to get an actual answer, an actual digit up here in my quotient. And I have something else that I need to bring down. I'm not done dividing. Now for this, how many times will 17 go into 70? I know it's not 0. My old estimate is going to help too much, is not going to help too much, but I can always estimate again. When students first learn this, for a lot of them, it is frustrating. They feel like they have to write a bunch of extra stuff down. And that's really, in the beginning, yeah, you do, but the goal is that eventually all the estimation is going to be done in your head. Estimation is one of the few things that really most of the time should be done mentally. Okay, 70, that's down here, right? 70 divided by 17. All right, well, 17, we already know, is pretty close to 20. 7, 2 is not going to go into 7. It'll go into 6. It'll go into 8. This really could go either way. 70 divided by 17. But I'm going to go ahead and round this up to 80. Now, if you rounded it up, or rather rounded down to 60, that would still work, but I think you would find that the answer is a little small. You would have to go back and bump it up. So I'm just going to jump to 80, and I'll show you how this is going to work. Okay? Use that all the way back over here. in your quotient 4 times 17. Now, like I said, sometimes this works the first time, sometimes it doesn't. You might have to go back and try again. But for today, I'm feeling pretty confident. 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4. 5, 6. So you should have 68. When I subtract 70 minus 68, 10 minus 8 is 2. 6 minus 6 is nothing. Not too shabby. This is less than the divisor, so we're good. If I had used 3 instead, it would have been a little bit bigger than the divisor. You would have had, I think, 19 down here, so we would have had to go through again. But since the divisor is small, the divisor is bigger than the remainder. The remainder is smaller than the divisor. Wait, Mr. Landre. We can move on to step 4. For step 4, record your answer and remainder. Your remainder, just that little number on the bottom, it's whatever's left over. So 580 divided by 17 is equal to 34, pencil broke, 34 remainder 2. Okay. If I went back through to check my work and multiplied 34 times 17, I would get 578. Add the 2 more, and I should have 580. Okay, I'm going to leave you with 2 examples for you to practice. Please just work these out again on a piece of graph paper or on the back side of these notes. We'll do the answers in class together. First one, 730 divided by 32. And your second example, 940 divided by 28. All right, thank you for following along. Work on those, good luck, and as always, bring your questions. Couldn't give me just a few seconds to finish this, huh, Lights? Bring your questions to class. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you next time.